Once again, the All-Whites don't work out for the best, but this team will not surrender. Up next, Jay and Damon break it all down. Steve Sipple and Jay Crawford will join us as well. And Coach Rule got to recruit the flip, and Sean will update us on recruiting. All that and more coming up on Big Red Wrap-Up. Hi, everyone. I'm Michael Severe, and welcome to Big Red Wrap-Up on Nebraska Public Media. We're not going to blame. We're not going to make excuses. We are all about solutions tonight. And to do that, join me, former Huskers, Jay Moore and Damon Benning. That was kind of Damon's line. You know, it's about solutions. It's not about excuses.
It's always, yeah, you can live by that.
Hey, give me one line or give me a little bit about that game on Saturday.
Yeah, obviously very, very unexpected. I thought Nebraska would come out with a much better mentality and compete, have a better game plan put together. And execute, and they didn't. Just nothing went right. All three phases were bad from the get-go. White, when I saw Barney fumble that kickoff, not fumble the kickoff, but take the kickoff right out the one, I go, this is the mentality of this team is not right. They did not come in with the right mindset. And I just did not expect that, and you saw the result. Indiana was better prepared, more physical, and that's how you lose by 49.
It was not over as fast as some people talk about, though. I mean, you're talking about Nebraska driving down. You got a chance to tie it, the fumble, get to 14-7, you got a chance to be in the game. What turned after that?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think not so much physical as I think this football team's got to understand competitive stamina, and it can come in three phases. There's the mental, there's the physical. I think emotional is different than mental. You can come with the right preparation mindset, but as the game unfolds, what is your emotional state, right? To play with great emotion without being emotional, that's still pretty elusive for this football team, but I'm with you. 14-7, you know, you're three-quarters of the way through the second quarter. You had a chance.
Yep.
It wasn't as, it wasn't as doom as gloom early. It was the ability for Indiana to pounce quickly in just a short amount of time. And they scored twice in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, right? Yeah. So that can take the air out of yourselves in a hurry. But I'm with you. Halfway through the second quarter, you had a football game.
Yeah, I admire people who can control their emotions. I never was one of those people. We want to know what you think. There's a lot to cover tonight, and we can't do it without you. We have our phones standing by, so you can give us a call. If you prefer, you can also text or email your questions. BigRed@NebraskaPublicMedia.org. We're also monitoring our social media accounts tonight. Send us your thoughts on the Big Red Wrap-Up Facebook page or X account, and we'll answer as many of the questions as we can. Time for a sideline survey. Last week, we asked you, what did you think about Nebraska's final record? 6-6 got 12%, 7-5 was 35%, and 8-4, 45%. And about 8% of the people were hopeful for 9-3, or at the time, 11-1. This week's question, what's your favorite road trip in the Big Ten? You got Northwestern, Minnesota, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Michigan. Not to be contrarian, I like going to West Lafayette, honestly. I think it's fun. There's a great place to eat there, so that's all that matters to me. We will get back to those coming up. Let's start with defense, right? I think because of obviously 4 turnovers and the way the offense played, that put the defense in a bad spot. But what did you see on some of the errors they were making?
Yeah, it was, whether I was looking at plays, breaking down the huddle segment, it just didn't, they just seemed not to be put in the right positions. I think Tony White kind of alluded to that already. He was, he didn't set them up for success. Nebraska does a lot of movement on the D-line. They like to they like to stem gaps, go from, cross face. They got caught up in a lot of that. And they just, there was good coverage at times, but Indiana just made plays. And Nebraska lost a lot of the one-on-one battles. And they had an opportunity to step up and make plays early on and to kind of slow down the momentum, and they never did that. Obviously, that fourth and 2 stop by Bayer, you thought, okay, here we go. Yep. But they just never seized that. They never got momentum from that. And they got punched in the mouth, and they couldn't respond. And Indiana just made plays. The play calls they had against our defense was well executed. That's a well-coached team. Cignetti has this team playing very, very efficiently. Very surprising, I'll put it that way. I thought this is where Nebraska could make some hay, was our defense against our offense, but obviously that was far from the truth.
Let's talk about that man beating man. So there were 12 times they targeted the top 3 cornerbacks, 11 completions, 170 yards. You got to win those battles.
Yeah, and I think part of it is just the philosophy Jay mentioned and Coach White mentioned, kind of being caught unexpectedly. And I think the way that Indiana's offense is built, right? You always have an inside run threat, you have an outside run threat, you have a vertical passing concept. It's every play. So conceptually, their expectancy rate for run versus pass on run versus passing downs, they can wreak havoc because a lot of things look very similar. They're well oiled with what they do with their same 3 or 4 concepts, and they have multiple people that can do it. The one-on-one thing is why I think Nebraska was demoralized so quickly. When you can't win one-on-ones and you're not winning one-on-ones, especially early on with some of those throws from work, you can get the sense in a hurry that it's going to be a long day, because what you'll start to think is, there's not much else I can do. And when you start to feel like that, you can get your feels in a hurry.
Yeah, and as good as that RPO is, ever since Rourke tore his knee up in 2022, he's not a runner anymore.
Right.
They don't even have that part of the concept.
Yeah, but they do it fantastically. I mean, you saw all the, especially down the goal line, the red zone area. Those are so hard to defend. The timing of it, making sure the pass catcher is at the line of scrimmage behind it, so you don't get the downfield blocking issues.
What they do that I love is they always have an outside run option, whether it's the QB or not. They have an inside runner, an outside option, and a vertical threat. It's almost every play. And they get away with it without it having to be the quarterback. I wouldn't even honor QB run game. And you saw Nebraska on the goal line, and Buford kind of rolled the dice on that little Twins route. Yeah. He comes to get the quarterback. I mean, Rourke's not going to run for much, but it's that kind of conflict where they stress you on every play. It leaves you guessing.
And afterwards, he pointed himself.
Yeah, that's
he knew he had made the mistake. What about the way they do run the ball? I know you're going to show something later with number 44, their tight end, who's a great run blocker. Their perimeter run blocking is really good as well.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the play I'll show, in the huddle later, was that first big run in the first series. Nebraska has to do a better job of identifying formations. This is a play here. Formations into the boundary. That's always a big key. Why are they there? Why is 44 there? You got to, as MJ Sherman, what's he doing though? He's not normally. What's he going to try to do to me? You got to start, preparing yourself. But just listen. Nebraska was in some good spots here. You just got to go make some tackles. Tackles were sloppy, but it just nothing was going right. When you get the RPO game going, you start second guessing yourself. You don't want to. You try to play it too safe, or you don't, almost like you're afraid to make a mistake. And that's what I saw. What really hurt Nebraska was like they're almost trying to play so perfect, and they didn't want to make a mistake that sometimes you want to go shoot your gun and just go make a play and see what happens. And Bayer did that on that 4th and 2. But listen, this
you see the guy wide open on the seam.
Yeah.
He
was there.
That's blown coverage.
Yeah, he was. It just never clicked, right? That one positive play obviously was that 4th and 2 stop, but it just felt off the whole game. Nebraska's defense looked a step slower, and Indiana just looked like they were, they had extra pop in their step.
Sometimes you got to give him credit. I know you like Justice Ellison.
Oh, yeah.
You saw what he did a couple times. He's right there in the hole, and he makes a man with a clean shot just miss.
Yeah, and again, that's winning your one-on-ones, right? And there are a few times, especially early, where I felt like Nebraska was pretty gap sound, right? You maybe could argue, head inside versus head outside, or B versus B and a half gap, but he could get so skinny through the hole, and he stressed your whole front, whether it was front side A, B, C gap, or backside A or B. He's a very good feel savvy runner. He's a headache.
Yeah, give us your philosophy. So, and Coach Rule talked about this. They could have done some things to where they limited the amount of scoring, right? Could have run the ball, punt instead of going out on 4th down, or you shoot your gun and you lose 56-7.
Yeah, it's hard, right? It's kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other, because you want your team to have the right mentality to no matter what, we're not going to look at the scoreboard. We're going to go out and play. We're going to execute and do our job. But also in your back of your mind, this team is very fragile mentally and they have a hard time winning, and they haven't won a lot. So there's that cat and mouse game you got to play with yourself. It's like, do I want to cater towards their mindset and their feelings, or you say the hell with it. We got to learn how to operate, and this is what we got to do. Yeah. But I have no problem with it. I mean, listen, it was going to be a loss no matter what, right? I mean, whether it's 56-7 or 35-7, it's still a bad loss. Yeah. But I have no problem with that. You're trying to get this team a mentality to go. We got to go forward. Let's stop worrying about making mistakes. get over this mental hurdle that has obviously still got them hung up quite a bit.
I think, real time, I have to be honest, revisionist history, I still don't know if I think differently, but real time, I was short of getting a guy injured. I think you have to learn how to fight. It's part of the growth and emotional maturity that I think this team needs to go through, right? We heard all the bad jokes about the surrender whites. Why surrender, right? You want to speak that into existence, or do you want to keep playing?
Right.
Real time, I think I'm a fan of I want to keep playing, short of risking injury for my guys.
On the radio broadcast, Greg asked you, should they pull Raiola?
Yeah,
He
that
asked
was,
you about
that
it,
was
right?
a really interesting conversation because I understood what he was saying, right? He kind of had more of the fan sentiment and, hey, you know, let's kind of move this thing along. In real time, I'm thinking, you know what, I want to compete, right? I think they need to go through that seasoning to know what that feels like.
Yeah.
So in preparation, you don't feel like that again. I can't stress that enough.
I'm not saying in any way, because this phrase is used a lot around Nebraska, slow blinker. I know Dylan is not that. But the last few weeks, there have been guys open quickly that he's got to go, and he's thinking more. I guess it's a process of taking a lot of hits, being a freshman.
Potentially, but also you're trying to just be too perfect. I think you can overanalyze things. I think coming off a bye week wasn't obviously great for this football team. I think you can tend to try to be too right, and sometimes, you know what, you got to take what the defense is giving you, no matter what.
The pick to Fedoni was a perfect example of that. He had the two by the top receiver on the hash. He was wide open.
Sometimes you want to try to, you know what, this isn't the route but you like to know that, oh, I made this throw against this coverage. Wasn't the way I was supposed to go, but I can do it. But sometimes you know, man, what's in front of you, take it.
Yeah.
Right, and just be efficient and be quick in let's get the offense in the right spot. But I think it's trying to be too perfect right now.
You can't go broke taking a profit. We talk about it all the time.
All day.
All right, running back, I-back.
Yes, sir.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's a couple of things. Number one, I think the offensive line had been much maligned, and I think it's a little unfair.
Yeah.
I look at the concept of how they want to run the ball out of the shotgun with only one running threat. It's too easy for defenses, right? They're always going to +1 you in the run game. And so I think Nebraska has some options. You can get a second back to give you at least a wrinkle, or you can go traditional 2-back to give you +1 in the box. Because if you just do simple math, and Nebraska has 4 wide receivers in the game, that leaves you 7 other players. 6 because your quarterback won't run. At a minimum, the defense is going to have 6.
Right.
So the concept either has to be my free runner on your free defender. But what defenses do, when they see run without having to account for the quarterback, you get an extra defender in the box. Sometimes 2.
Yeah.
If you have one of those receivers in blocking like Fedoni does a lot. So I think it's a recipe for disaster unless you get a second running threat as an option.
And if not, do you want to see Harburg occasionally in there? Give him a change up?
I mean, they tried it, and we've seen it, through most of the games that you throw them as a curveball. It does. It makes the defense respect to have to practice it, and it's 11-on-11 football when you have the QB run game. So it does stress the defense that much more.
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's tough. I understand the aspect of it because that is your backup quarterback. You don't want to get him hurt, but I also know this is an offense that's struggled in the last few weeks, just running the football and just getting some momentum going and scoring points. Maybe throw it out there for a couple series and see how it goes, and just have them throw some get some RPO game going, right?
Yeah,
and utilizing in that aspect of it.
You could do that pretty well with him.
Yeah, and we seen him last year. Most of the explosive plays that happened with his legs.
Yeah, 100%.
They had so many plays over 30 yards last year. This year they're
people
not
knew it
getting
was
explosives.
coming.
Right. But the evolution of the option, right? But now the option pass. You saw Malachi Coleman's play. Some of those big pass plays, off the option too was key for the offense last year.
Yeah. Jalen Lloyd's got to get.
Yeah.
You could get to the triple multiple ways. We saw Indiana do it without a running quarterback. It can be done. It's just about concept. So I think whatever Nebraska wants to try to do, I think they need to get proficient at whatever it is and then take your chances with variations.
Yeah, I want to see more I formation because that's what I love. Bring the fullback in. Let's go to the highlights. Look what happened on Saturday over in Bloomington. The Huskers saw a rarity or near sellout at Indiana's Memorial Stadium as you see Nebraska running out in the whites, celebrating the start of the game. It turned pretty quickly. Here's the play that Jay's going to break down later. 3rd and 2, a chance for Nebraska to get off the field. Ellison goes for 43 yards on this play. Nice job running him down, but that's a chance to get off the field.
Yeah, this didn't execute. MJ Sherman's got to do a better job of recognizing that and doesn't, and here we go.
Here it again, 3rd and 11. Another chance to force a field goal or something else. Instead, they get to 4th and 1. They convert the 4th and 1. Another chance to get off the field. Goes down to the 5-yard line. Damon, tell me what happens on this touchdown run.
Yeah, so I like the fact that just getting skinny through that hole. I thought when you bury yourself, what I call burying yourself as a defender in your fit with your head down, you let good backs with good vision do that to you.
One of the better highlights defensively, Bayer making that tackle. And here's Nebraska driving. Again, down only 7 after getting the stop, that 4th down stop. And here comes Haarberg, gets a nice run, puts him in a situation to be able to convert a 4th and 1. But what happens?
Well, I tell you, if you just slide left, he may hit his head on the goalpost there instead.
What do you say? Don't turn your back, right? You don't spin
you
in
don't
traffic.
spin in the contact.
Do not spin in traffic, because that's how people knock the ball out. They call it a fumble. Indiana has the ball. Again, you have a situation to tie it at 7-7. Here comes Indiana, started the 2nd quarter now. Curtis Rourke was just pinpoint. Here's some of that one-on-one you guys were talking about. First, the left side of the field.
Yeah, and those are unguardable.
Yeah.
Back shoulders, man, those are so hard to defend.
And there's
this
the
one?
right side of the field. Yeah,
Hey, that's pretty good.
Yeah, and those guys, they all won at a lower level before coming here. Here's a situation, again, we were talking
RPO.
about. That's a play that Urban Meyer broke down before the game on Big Fox, and they ran exactly at the run.
2 guys, same fit, accounting for the quarterback, leaving a free receiver. That's on Nebraska.
There was a highlight, though. It was Thomas Fidone, 6 catches, 190 yards. He had a great game, the kind of game we expected. Nice throw here to the sideline. And then Nebraska's in a situation to be able to run kind of their money play with Jakari Barney, right? And that time, Fidone made a great block on the edge.
Yeah, he missed on the Haarberg run earlier.
Right before that, and Haarberg told him about it, too. Another back shoulder throw.
Yeah. It's deja vu, right?
It is. It's just precise. And here's a situation, again, where Nebraska makes a nice play, puts themselves in a good situation. You're forcing them to do something else. They gain something on 2nd down, they get in here for the touchdown. No touchdown runs given up to start the season in 6 games, 5 for Indiana on Saturday. Here's some missed tackles right here.
Just
Leaky
speeding
yardage.
through the hole, right? Like, flat feet, it's like dead feet, dead play. Like, he's just on top of you so quick.
Yep. We talked a lot about Justice Ellison and the way he ran the ball on the day, either whether it's getting through holes or making cuts. Watch the move here.
Oh, that was...
Just gets through it. Now, this guy's arms are up, but we get into for the touchdown and make it 28-7. And then they try to even get some more points with a Hail Mary at the end. Curtis Rourke makes guys miss. Another highlight defensively, interception, 3rd in the season. Malcolm Hartzog, nice play there, and tries to bring it back as far as he can. What do you do on the Hail Mary?
Knock it down.
Or you rush them. You send more than 4 guys and make them have to throw it. You like that. Here's Thomas Fidone, one of the biggest plays of the game, 23 yards on the run and catch. He's looking healthier.
Yeah,
I thought he looked a little...
He's trim,
Yep.
He's aggressive, he understands the offense.
A tough throw here. Just didn't read the open defender.
Yeah, he's got to look to the other side, right, DB?
Yeah,
it was
wide
there.
open.
Yep.
And it's a quick, easy throw, too.
Great job by Ramir chasing down the defender on the interception. But here's the play I was talking about. That's one that was drawn up by Urban Meyer before the game.
Well,
it worked
that's
just
poor
like they ran it.
communication by Tommy Hill and Buford. It's like, man, it's inside out.
You
like,
got
pass
two
it
for-
off.
and you have 2 for 2.
Like, let's come on. Like, that's day 1 stuff right there.
Coach talked about that interception. Jalen Lloyd going off on the scramble drill instead of staying. And Raiola thought he would break to the outside, and you're going to break that one down later.
Yep. It didn't get off to a good start.
Here's the backup quarterback throwing the best pass of the day.
Yeah, that incredible throw.
It was beautiful.
He threw it early, too. Like,
Yeah.
I had a good vantage point of that. That's the only place his guy could get.
And he got his foot down, too, even though it was defended very well by Sierra Wright. Great catch there. And here's another chance, getting to the outside. At this point, Nebraska's defense is pretty beat up, pretty beaten down, giving up another rushing touchdown. Last chance, kind of a last gas, sack, fumble, 4 total turnovers for Dylan Raiola, this being the fourth one on the tip there. Indiana getting the ball back and going down to get another score, because they do not stop. They will score until you either end the game or stop it. 56-7 is your final. We go to the stats. They are not pretty. About 40-some yards from the running backs, 70 overall, 3 nice runs actually from Haarberg, 2 late in the game. You look at the total yards overall, almost 500 yards for Indiana on that. And you look at the 3 turnovers for the interceptions. Not good. Not good at all. Players of the game. Now, we're not putting down a player of the game. I'm telling you, it is Thomas Fidone. 6 catches, more than 90 yards. I would give him, if it was me, if it was my choice, I would give him player of the game. Let's move ahead and take a closer look and break down more of the loss with Jay in the Huddle.
Welcome to the Huddle, guys. One offensive play, one defensive play. We're going to look at this interception by Raiola. We're going to bring some pressure. We're going to kind of look at the protection issues that Nebraska had as Indiana brings the blitz. Joe Klatt kind of identified this during the game, that Emmett Johnson needs to slide out to help. I understand for this situation, but I think Nebraska could have done a better job of setting them up for success with sliding the protection left. The majority of the guys are to the field, right? Not as many guys to the boundary. Nebraska needs to slide this protection to the left and still allow Emmett to go up to the middle. Obviously, they don't. Emmett usually does a good job. MDM, most dangerous man. Look to the middle, then you look out to the left, but doesn't. But here's where the issue lies now, is Raiola has a guy, right? You'd look to see him get out quickly, doesn't. Banks is there, maybe as the hot receiver, obviously does not get it to him. With that being the case, he needs to climb the pocket. He has to climb the pocket where he can either step up and throw, get the ball to Emmett, or tuck it and run and get a quick 5 instead of taking a sack, or obviously what's going to happen next. So in this situation, he rolls out to the left. He sees Barney immediately out to the flat, running an out route, thinks he's got him. Well, obviously he doesn't, and this is what we call a plaster situation for the defense. He takes up the field. Well, he's thinking he's going to sit there right on the numbers and catch this ball. Doesn't, overthrow, pick by Indiana, and obviously one of 3 interceptions by Raiola in this game. Not his best. So first play, we'll look at defensively. First series of the game. Formation, I said this a couple weeks ago, formation into the boundary defensively is very, very key. MJ Sherman has to think why 44 is where he is. He's a run blocker. Why is he right here? You got to be thinking crack toss, crack replace, or something. Obviously, he doesn't see him, doesn't have that thought. Nebraska is going to do some motion up front here, move some movement. You're going to get Nash moving out, Ty's moving out, and you're going to see 44 crack down on MJ, 65 is going to pull. MJ's already taken 2 steps. His eyes aren't even on 44 yet. In this situation, I'd love to see him identify and club him by, get vertical, and get to 6 as quick as possible to make him cut back into his help. But doesn't. 44 does a fantastic job of staying on him. You see the alleys get created here. We have a mess backside, right? Nash is on the ground. Ty gets taken out. Princewell is going to get caught up in this. We have a seam. 44 does a great job of staying on. MJ kicking him out. Now it's just getting worse, right? You can see the mess down here. It is not going well so far. Bullock's going to do a good job at least trying to split these guys to force them back into help. He does that, but Singleton does a poor job taking the angle, does not get him. Tries to arm tackle, doesn't work. Hartzog at least does a good job of chasing this down backside, but just a poor way to get off in the first series of the game defensively.
It certainly doesn't always work like you draw it up on the board, but in that case, that's how they drew it up. That's how it worked.
Yeah. I mean, when you get movement going away from the play, you don't recognize formation and you don't get off a block, and that's what's just going to happen, and it's just a fine line. You have to be, especially at the point of contact and in the edge of the defense, you got to be on point. Otherwise, good teams are going to crease you just like that.
Coming up next on Big Red Wrap Up, we'll be joined by Stephen M. Sipple. We'll talk about some specifics from the loss. But first, Herd at Sports has some pictures from the game from Bloomington. It was a pretty day. More to come. Welcome back to Big Red Wrap-Up. We looked hard and we found a couple of good plays for the Huskers. First, Ja'Cory Barney, of course, getting the jet sweep and going in for the only Husker score of the day. We go to play number 2. Kai Bayer getting really defensive play of the day with this sack, which was on 4th down, getting the ball back to Nebraska. And number 1 goes to Dylan Raiola with a nice pass to Thomas Fidone. Not only does he catch it, but gets a little run out of it as well. Gets him a couple of yards. He had 6 catches for over 90 yards on the day. Joining us now, the senior writer from Husker Online, Stephen M. Sipple. He is a legend among men, and we're happy to have you here. How are you doing, Sip?
I'm fine. I've aged quite a bit since I was here last time.
It was just a few weeks ago.
I know. I'm not as old as Damon, but
We were here together just a few weeks ago.
right. How's everybody here?
We're doing all right. You were there in Bloomington. You
Yeah.
watched it happen. Coach said it was a surprise for him. Pretty much a surprise for you?
Well, what do you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I saw your pick before the game. Yeah.
Yeah, 56-7. I don't
Yeah.
know if anybody predicted it. Yeah, I was shocked by what I saw. You know, it was one of those things when, you know, and I don't get too emotional, and I'm not supposed to in my role. But I had my head in my hands a couple times, you know, doing this.
Yeah.
I saw Damon doing that in the box. So yeah, no, it was.
I was. He's right next to me.
I believe it.
We were right next. Yeah,
I could hear you.
you could.
I could hear him. Yeah.
So you know, it was very surprising. I mean, the defense particularly. If you say what's the most surprising thing, that they gave up 56. That how many yards in Indiana at halftime? 343.
Yeah, they were on pace to break the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta go back to like Bud Wilkinson.
Yeah.
Well, you literally do to 1956.
Right.
So that was the most shocking thing.
Sip, when I look at the offense, I want to get to the defense here in a little bit, but I think everyone wants to shoot arrows at Satterfield right now, and rightfully so. I'm frustrated with this play calling, just like everybody. But what can you call right now for him when you have struggled to run the ball? You have wide receivers who struggle to block on the perimeter.
Yeah, I think he could be more inventive in the run game, but it is a challenge when you know you're not getting much from your running backs, your offensive lines. Dame, I appreciate you defending. I think it's been so. You're not getting what you thought you'd get from your wideouts, so it becomes difficult to call plays. I always feel like I'm taken up for coaches, and in a sense, I am. I don't like the reactionary nature of these conversations. Sure. They're 5-2. They just lost. Now the offense has been trending downward for weeks, but some of it's personnel related. Now I do like Satterfield did say today he could do better in the run game with how he approaches it. So I know Michael, we've talked about it. I know your feelings, but I try to be the last guy to call for guys' heads.
Oh, he's got all the answers. Just ask.
Especially
I wish I
5-2.
did, because I would call him personally and help out. Pre-snap motion, bunch. There's a lot of little things you can do.
You can. I agree with that.
I like another option in the backfield to run the football too, because I don't defend the offensive line because I don't have any thoughts. I defend the offensive line because I coach defense, and if you don't run the ball with your quarterback out of shotgun run game, I could come up with something to slow you down. Yeah. So I think you have to give them a fighting chance. But I say all that to say, how surprised were you? And if you went back and re-listened, I didn't get the sense Coach Rhule was kind of woe is me, the sentiment of the losing mentality of here we go again, especially the second time I listened to it, because he did say that's part of life. You have to deal with it. You get that in Lincoln. What we have to do is, and then he filled in the blanks. Did that surprise you that he openly said that out loud?
No. I mean, not really. I mean, what he said, Damon. Now, I recognize the importance of the psychology of sport, but I hate it. I like what he said about, okay, just show up. If you're supposed to be in the B gap, be in the B gap. This doesn't have to be a big emotional play all the time.
Do your
It doesn't have to
job.
be this deep dive into the psychology of men.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just show up and do your damn job.
Yeah.
I wish it would come down to that a little bit more. And that's what I like his message.
That's why I wanted him to play in the second half.
Yeah, I like that. I loved what he said about that. I loved what he said about not kicking the field goal at 28-7. Go for it. I mean, show the guys we're still playing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to try to win the game.
Yeah.
And it's good for Dylan. It's good for everybody. It's good for mentality.
The one thing that Nebraska hasn't been doing is turning the ball over. That creeps up in the Indiana game. That's a little scary. You got a freshman out there. Do you think that you play Harburg a little bit? I know you don't want to, again, mess with someone's mentality or confidence, but do you play Harburg?
Yeah, I'm definitely more open to that conversation than I was 4 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Because it's evolved. Yeah, I mean, when they were playing Colorado and scoring 28 and it looked good and you figured they had a good plan. I didn't like any disruption. Now they might need a spark, but it's sort of a complex discussion, right? Now teams have figured out Nebraska a little bit without the quarterback run game. Don't you just man them up?
Yeah,
Blitz them a lot, man them up.
Or
Is that what you do?
They're seeing a lot of quarters and two where you use flat defenders to defend the edge. But the thing about it is safeties can just get down into the box because they're playing 11 on 10.
Right.
So again, I don't defend the offensive line because they're my favorite guys. I defend the offensive line because if your running back is responsible for a free defender, you have to run almost every play perfectly, and that's just not going to happen.
No, it's not
It's just not going to happen at this level.
Yeah. Dick?
Yeah, sticking with the offense in Raiola, we've seen get off to such a great start. Obviously regressed a little bit. And I was wondering, I think it's trying to be a little too perfect. Get off to such a good start, get to the bye week.
Yeah.
You have that similar sentiment with him just trying to do too much within this offense?
Yes. What I've been looking for from Dylan Moore is a little more urgency, a little more. It's going to get tougher in the Big Ten. It's going to speed up. Can you get to a spot where you can set your feet and go? I mean, I just like to see him. It sounds kind of funny. I'd like to see him act a little more rattled. He's very smooth. It looks like he's always kind of in third gear. I just like to see him ramp it up a little bit. It's not really his style. I heard Urban Meyer actually talked to the media on Friday, and he said a variation of what I'm saying. He said the thing he's got to do more of is show, when he gets pressed, to move, get your feet set and throw. Let it roll. And I don't know, I think he gets sped up a little bit and he doesn't speed up. He should speed up a little. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I do. I wonder what would happen if we talked openly about being a little more free to make mistakes.
Yep.
So because to build on what Jay said about having to be perfect, what I think happens is it's been so ingrained to take care of the football, don't turn the ball over. And all that's true, right? And he knows that he is an extension of that. So I don't think he likes to just let it rip. If we just would say, hey, listen, you know what? You have to take some chances. You've got to throw guys open. You do you. We got your back. I think he would. What I think we see is, hey, be careful. Everything hinges on, the outcome of this particular thing because our psyche is this. I think he's responding. So if you free him up to just go play, I think he'll just go play.
And how much of this whole discussion is the fact that they rank 99th nationally in rushing, that they rank 14th in the Big Ten, that they against Indiana, they ran 19, the running backs ran 19 times for 40 yards. Damon, I covered your era. That would be an incredible occurrence if Nebraska ran 19 times for 40 yards in a game.
So what do we think? Because I think from a pass pro standpoint, they've been really good.
Yeah. You had plenty of time. You had plenty of time.
And you'd make the case,
Definitely
right,
pass pro.
that it's much more difficult to pass pro than it is to run block.
Oh, totally, 100%.
Okay, so if I'm capable of pass proing, and there's all these good rushers that they're playing against, I should be able to run the football. It's not necessarily just running backs in O-line. You have to give your guys a chance by scheming things up that allow us to play more downhill and give us another viable running option in the box. Otherwise, I'm just going to play the box.
So we do have to talk about, before we go, special teams. wasn't catastrophic, but 20-yard return on a punt return, still hasn't had a perfect game yet on special teams. Thoughts on that?
About got one blocked again, which so you had a bad snap.
He
Plus
couldn't
a
field
20-yard
a
return.
kickoff right either.
Yeah.
But
And you had those 2 plays.
yeah, and you had a catastrophic play, which Rule has talked about. We can't have the catastrophic play. What happens, first kickoff, Indiana's first kickoff, catastrophic. That's catastrophic. Catch the ball at the 1 and stumble out. Now, I don't know. Do I put that on Ed Foley?
Players have to make plays.
Close call on that. You got to teach your kids that situation, what you do, stick a leg out of bounds and catch it, and you get it to 35. Now, I don't know, maybe he is taught that. It's very possible. So, yeah, I mean, the special teams, again, wasn't a total disaster. That's the best I can say.
Yeah, what about the end of the season? Well, the last 5 games, your feel?
Well, I mean, I think that this game, you just do what you can, cut loose.
Yep.
Just let it roll. Let it roll. Then come back and get ready for a bunch of brawls, starting with UCLA. And that's what the season is to me. Cut loose at Ohio State, do what you can. Don't worry, just go let it go. And then come back and get ready for UCLA. And there'll just be a series of brawls to get to bowl eligibility.
Simply appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you being in studio, no doubt. Coming up next on Big Red Wrap-Up, Sean Callahan will update us on a flip to help the O-line. But first, Hurrdat Sports has some great shots. The last time Nebraska took on Ohio State, we'll chat with Jay Crawford about college football and the Buckeyes as well when we come back after this.
A lot of credit to Indiana for playing really a clean football game, and B, just not our best football in any area. So disappointing. It's just kind of an opportunity for us to kind of get back today and get to work.
You only get one option, and that's to keep going, right? Keep fighting. Just go back to your process and keep going.
And then all of a sudden now we're down for one. So this is a great opportunity for our guys. It's like a gut check to say, like, hey, if every time we're down we're going to talk about our confidence, then, like, man, we better start handing out participation trophies. Like, this is a game for men to go out and battle and fight. I think a smarter coach probably would have just settled the game. Like, when you're down 35-7, would have settled the game down. I just, in my mind, the long game is that Dylan's going to have to learn how to play in those moments, right? Like, intense pressure, trying to get the team back in the game.
They punched us in the mouth. They obviously wanted it more than we did.
Hey, there's a lot of ways you can go. But at the end of the day, you have another high-powered offense, one of the best teams in the entire country, and this is like life. You know, we're teaching life lessons. You're not always going to get the job you want. You're always not going to write the article you want to get. That's not always going to happen, but it's how you respond from it and how you learn from it. So this is one of those examples, and, you know, it's our job to make sure that we get the guys going.
I want to first give credit to Ryan Day, okay, in that those guys are at Ohio State because Ohio State wins, and players want to go to a winner, okay? I mean, so while there is, you know, an NIL component to everybody, Ryan's won, right? Urban won. Jim Tressel won. You know, Ohio State's won a ton. And so kids want to go be a part of one of the best programs in the country, right? Why, you know, best receiving corps over the last however many years, great, all first-round quarterbacks.
All right, welcome back inside the Big Red Wrap-Up studio at Nebraska Public Media. I'm Michael Severe. Join us with Sean Callahan to talk some recruiting. After a game like that, Nebraska needed a little bit of good news, and they got it.
Yeah, they got good news from Juju Marks out of Olathe South in Kansas City. He's listed as an offensive lineman for Nebraska. He's also been recruited by some schools as a defensive lineman, but 6'7", 255 pounds. And, you know, we were frantically searching through our notes. He had not visited campus at Nebraska for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
So this has the fingerprints of Jamar Mosey all over it.
Right.
As Isaiah Mosey in this class, now Juju Marks, and then Dawson Merritt, another Kansas City target, is still on the radar for the Huskers. But Mosey is really pushing in Kansas City. Getting Marks was a huge get for this class, giving them their 4th offensive line commit here for 2025.
Feature recruit, I'm always a fan of getting kids from Hawaii.
And one of those 4 is Houston Kahana Torres, one of the top, if not the top overall player in Hawaii. Nebraska now has gotten 2 top lineman recruits from Hawaii the last couple of years. No surprise there with the Raiola connection, Donovan Raiola, and the connections they have on the islands. You know, Ben Scott is a Hawaiian as well on this current Husker roster. It was a battle to get Kahana Torres, but I just think the relationship with Donovan really won out with Dylan here, and just the ties that those guys have.
Another excuse for you to go back up to Hawaii for the Polynesian Bowl. Let's do our in-state recruit now, Isaac Jensen.
Yeah, Isaac Jensen, arguably right now the #1 2026 player in the state of Nebraska.
Another tight end.
Based on recruiting, yeah. How about
So
that?
many
Another
tight
top
ends.
tight end in Nebraska. But Isaac Jensen received his offer from Nebraska, you know, several months ago. He's got other major Power 4 offers at this point, but you look at the weapons that Millard South has. I mean, they have 2 Power 4 tight ends in Chase Lofton and Isaac Jensen. And they're obviously having a huge season.
Yep.
You know, you look at in-state offers from Nebraska. This is just one of 2 in the state for 2026. Jace Reynolds at Elkhorn North being the other. So they have not put a lot of 2026 in-state offers out. Isaac Jensen, though, to me, is the top recruited guy right now for the Huskers.
Sean, we appreciate it. Time now for our game day photo winner, and it is a doozy. It's from Facebook. Little Husker fans' face tells the whole story. We feel for you, buddy. Don't forget to send in your best game day photos each week for a chance to win as well. Social media now, more from the world of social media. We check out this. Oh, just because I'm mad doesn't mean I've given up on you. Look at that. Protecting the inn in a rainstorm, fully Husk, Big Red Fishing, taking care of the inn. That's how it should work. Several results now. Real quick look at what we have so far. Favorite road trip in the Big Ten, and the winner currently is Minnesota. Nice city to go to, and of course Northwestern for Chicago. A lot of Husker fans in that area as well. This week around the Big Ten, Oregon moved up to #1. Once again, 3 out of the top 4 teams in the AP poll are from the Big Ten. Leaving the poll this week is Michigan for the first time in 54 weeks, basically since before COVID, scoring 7 against Illinois, lowest point total since 2014. If the playoffs started today, Oregon, Ohio State, and Penn State would qualify for the college football playoff based on the AP poll. And in the top 25 this week, Indiana's moved to number 13, and Illinois moved up to 20. Joining us now, former ESPN personality, Jay Crawford. Jay, how are you feeling? Thanks for taking the time. What are your feelings on the current state of college football?
I love it. I've been screaming for more than 4 forever, and I think 12 is the perfect number. You can look around college football, and the old argument used to be
every game counts. And while that may have been true for half a dozen to maybe a dozen teams, now look at the teams that 2 lost teams aren't out of it. And that's great. I mean, I think that makes meaningful football games all the way through the end of the season. You've got so many teams that are in that mix for the top 12 that I think the expansion of the playoffs is going to make even more meaningful games in the month of November. And that's what you want. It gets boring when there's only 6 teams left the last 2 or 3 weeks of the season. We're going to have anything but boredom, I think, at the end of the year this year.
Jay, the expansion of the Big Ten has obviously brought Oregon, USC, UCLA, Washington into this mix. Now you look at Oregon, you have Ohio State, Penn State, Indiana's right up there. Where do you see the Big Ten kind of fitting in, getting potentially 3, maybe even 4 teams into this playoff come when the polls come out in just 2 weeks?
I think there will be 3, and you might be able to make an argument for 4. It just depends on how everything shakes out. But when you look at, we may still have the best team from college football, might come from the Southeastern Conference, who knows. But I think with the quality and the depth that's in the Big Ten, and I'm not ready to say that Penn State is a legitimate contender yet. I want to wait on that. But I think Oregon is. I think Ohio State is. Obviously, Michigan is down this year. But I love the depth and the quality of the Big Ten Conference. I think, when you think about winning this conference, what it's going to take, this is not going to be easy for anyone. And now I know everybody wants to kind of anoint Oregon as the class of the Big Ten. I'm not ready to say that yet. I just think if Ohio State and Oregon played on a neutral field 10 times, Ohio State would win 6 of them. Even the game in Eugene came down to a 12-man on the field penalty that was so egregious they forced them to change the rules. Have you guys ever seen that? A rule change in the middle of the season after one exploitation of a loophole?
Yeah. But Damon?
Yeah, the only time I can remember that is Kenny Pickett's fake slide.
Oh, yeah.
Where that got turned around pretty quick. But I'm with you on the Oregon-Ohio State thing. And I go back to that game in particular as we kind of preview Ohio State. Does it seem like, I get the offense with Judkins and Smith, and they're prolific. I want to go to the defense under Coach Knowles and the combination with Larry Johnson Sr. They didn't really get after the quarterback a ton. I think Gabriel had some time. They got hit with those gap runs kind of to the boundary. When you look at their talent defensively versus the statistical outputs, what are you seeing with this Buckeye defense?
Well, for starters, I hope you guys are working on a lot of routes number 7. Because Denzel Burke is, he is
struggling.
You always want to find the guy on the defense that you can exploit. That's not hard to do this year with this Buckeye team. And you guys mentioned the lack of pressure, too. It's driving me crazy watching this team because this team in the past has had the kind of talent that really gets after quarterbacks and makes it difficult. They let him sit back there all night and pick them to pieces. You can't just send 4 against a quarterback like that. And I know the fear is he gets outside the pocket. If you don't set the edges, he can really hurt you that way, and he did. But I'm from the school of if you're going to err on the side of being aggressive. And Ohio State did exactly the opposite last week against Oregon. They just sat back and let him pick his spots. And Burke is such a deficiency in the back end of that defense that it wasn't hard for him to figure out where he wanted to go with the football. They've got to get better in that spot. And I know depth is a problem at that position, but as long as he's on the field, I'm looking for him. And I'm sure Matt is driving that home this week in practice. And identify where is 7 and get favorable matchups against 7. And you guys could have a prolific day passing the ball. And you mentioned the combo of what's going on defensively for the Buckeyes. It's just not impressive. I know that it's been a problem in the past. It's still a problem. And I think when they lose games, it's going to be because of shootouts, because their offense is so prolific, but their defense is not. And that's how you're going to beat the Buckeyes. You're not going to beat them in a 10-7. Right. You're going to beat them in a game, and it's like a track meet, just like the Oregon game. That's the perfect blueprint for how you beat them.
Jay, obviously Ohio State's been on a historic run of quarterbacks the last 10 to 15 years. I'm curious, what is the ground level view on Will Howard thus far? because you guys have had a plethora of first-round draft picks there, and what's the viewpoint on him early on out there?
I think by and large he's lived up to expectations. I say that wishing I could bulk erase the last play of the Oregon game. For the life of me, I can't understand how his situational awareness was that bad. And the problem with that is, and this is just a product of Ohio State's dominance in the schedule that they play, they're in 3 to 4 games a year. That's it. Everything else is over by halftime. And the problem is the knife gets dull because you're not sharpening it. And so what we saw in that Oregon game was there's going to be games this year that come down to the last minute. Can you execute a 2-minute offense? And I was flabbergasted, thunderstruck. I'm at a loss for words. I don't know what I was looking at when he took off the run, knowing where the clock was. So that has Buckeye fans very concerned because you're going to be in close games this year. That's a fact. And particularly when you get in the playoff and you want your best players to rise to the occasion. And he did not do that. So I think there's concern about Will Howard in perhaps those late and close situations. And now what he's going to have to do to earn the respect of not just the fan base, but the coaches and his teammates, he's going to have to find himself in a close game late, and he's going to have to come through in that situation just so he can prove to everybody that he can be that dude, because he was not last Saturday.
Jay, we appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. Enjoy the game on Saturday.
Absolutely, guys. Enjoy the game.
All right, now it's time for viewer questions. Portion of the show is for the viewers now. They've sent in a number of things. Sean, have you heard anything about how injured Raiola may be at all with that ankle?
It's hard to say because there were a couple moments on Saturday. You could see him wobbling off the field, but there's been no clear report other than it's that time of year. Every guy's battling bumps and bruises here and there. But we didn't see Raiola really take off and run at all in that game. Right. And there were probably a couple opportunities where he could have, and you didn't see that real push off. So that will be something to watch closely early in this game.
Jay, Larry on X says, why does it seem like the D is never in the right gaps? DN's not staying home, front seven running into each other like little kids playing soccer, all bunched up.
It was discombobulated from the get-go on Saturday, that's for sure. But that's where I think Nebraska defensively, you can kind of get a little too complicated because you have such an old defense. You think you can start getting and do some unique things. Sometimes you know what the best thing to do as a defense when you're struggling? Just line up on base and go play. And just do what you do well and just do it again. I think at the times of playing defense, we try to get too cute, too unique, and you'd get gashed a little bit. And it's like, we're just going to play base. And it's like, we got to kind of figure it out. So that's going to be a thing to see is just how complicated Nebraska wants to keep it on Saturday.
Is there someone on the offense, Damon, that you want to see get more touches?
Yeah, Jalen Lloyd for starters. Not just because I know him so well, but I know what kind of a competitor he is. He's a winner, and he's going to lay it on the line and do what he's asked. And then maybe you need an outside receiver to kind of step up. And you can even move a hybrid tight end to give you another big body kind of passing target. But Jalen Lloyd is one for sure that I'd like to see because you can move him around. He knows all three positions. And I think he's ready to go.
What Damon's describing, it sounds like Carter Nelson maybe getting him some chances. Depends on if they want to play him.
Well, we saw him play a record number of snaps in terms of in the offense this last week, and we saw Ja'Cory Barney. So there was a clear effort to ramp up the reps for those two freshmen. On the flip side, Janiron Bonner, I believe, only played 1 or 2 snaps in that game. So there was kind of a reversal of the roles and emphasis over the bye week to obviously get a couple of those talented freshmen more involved in the offense.
Steve, for 30 seconds, Steve wants to know more pre-snap motion. How does that affect a defense?
It's communication, and it helps when you pre-snap motion, especially at a bunch or you get to bunch. Defense got to back up to allow, so otherwise you can cut yourself off defensively. So I might see that a little more, using that to affect this offense that kind of get them going.
20 seconds, you want to see more of that?
Yeah, I do. And passing off coverage, and they have to mirror the secondary coverage with being able to fit in the run game.
Let's go to our burning questions, Sean.
My burning question is, can Matt Rule control the noise, handle the noise this week? And they found out you know, it's turned pretty quickly here. You know, there's a lot of critics and a lot of voices out there, and these are the weeks as a head coach you really earn your money at a place like Nebraska.
Yeah, can they make it about them, right? It's kind of piggyback what Sean said, but what's going to help them get out of this doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. It's about those guys in that building.
Yeah, it's similar to Damon. And Matt Rule already said this, forget the scoreboard. Just go play.
Yeah.
Just go play. It doesn't matter if you're up 14-0, down 21-0. It does not matter. I've said it many times. Good defenses, good teams, don't worry about it. Let your coaches handle that. Doesn't matter the play call. Just go execute and do your job. Fight, compete, and let it hang out there. Whatever happens, happens.
Obviously, Ohio State's had the week off. They're going to come out fired up. Let's see if Nebraska can stay in it in the first quarter, and you got 3 quarters to win it. Don't forget to head to our website or Facebook page or X account and click on the prediction. Jay, Damon, and I will tell you exactly what to expect in the Ohio State game. The next game against 4th-ranked Ohio State is on big noon, 11 a.m. Central on Fox, with coverage beginning at 9 a.m. Then on Tuesday night, Big Red Wrap-Up will come back and recap the Ohio State game and be joined by Husker basketball coach Fred Hoiberg. We'll also be back live on World, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live at 7 p.m. And you can catch the re-air at 10 p.m. on Nebraska Public Media. On Saturday night, we have some big-time college hoops as Purdue heads to Creighton for a charity exhibition game. Blue Jays at 7 p.m. right here on Nebraska Public Media. And by the way, the proceeds of that game go to the Midlands Disaster Charity Relief Fund. Also, don't forget to check out Nebraska's high school classics anytime on youtube.com/Nebraska Public Media. Special thanks to Steve Sipple, Jay Crawford for joining us. Of course, for Jay Moore and Damon Benning, I'm Michael Severe. We'll see you next week on Big Red Wrap-Up.